Top and morning to you lads. My name is Luigi the Guy Gamer, also known as Joe. Uh, this is a different video from what I normally do, and as you can tell by the title, this is a Fnaf tier list. Now, I am not doing this alone. No, I'm not doing this alone. I am with none other than one of my best friends, Jackass 2008, also known as Jacksonian, or as he's also really known, is Jackson 2008.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back with
Yeah,
one of Joe's videos.
yeah. This is one of the few videos where me and Jackson are together, and me and Jackson are probably going to do a theory video on my next movie when it comes out in March. So that's our plan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get the FNAF tier list pulled up, and then I already got pulled up. I just need to share the screen. It's okay. It's really okay. Here it is. Here's the list. So we got G tier, F tier, E tier. So the top is S, and the best is S, and the worst is G. So,
So,
uh,
for me, Joe, I'm going to be considering two categories for this list: gameplay, like how the characters play in the game, and character design. I think
yeah,
that's the two most
that
important.
yeah that's how we're gonna go through this is the character design and how the characters work throughout the game. So, um, I think I haven't played all of the games either. I've only played the first 5 games, but let's just try our best to get to know all the characters and whatnot. And I played FNAF VR, so I've got to play that. So I played 6 FNAF games, and I haven't really played much of Security Breach either. But let's start with uh,
The
The
man
normal
himself.
Freddy Fazbear. Let's start with the man himself, the Freddy Fazbear. Where would you put him on this list? If
Ooh,
you
okay. In terms of gameplay, Joe, I really like him in FNAF 1. I like his character because he doesn't come out on the first 2 nights and then slowly he's incorporated into night 3 and then he's incorporated into night 4 and then he becomes your worst nightmare on 2020 mode. He is the main problem there besides Foxy. In terms of character design, in terms of gameplay, I really like him, but his character design is obviously very, very iconic. I mean, anyone who thinks of Five Nights at Freddy's is immediately going to think of the original Freddy, and
mm-hmm.
I think he warrants a solid S tier. He's a great
he,
character.
yeah, and with me, it's like I agree with that he doesn't do much in the first 2 nights, and then it's like he slowly progresses in the later nights. But what I have to say about this is that he is basically just he it's basically like your it's basically the type of guy that's like he will not leave you alone, and it's like in like the 5th night. It's like basically 5th night, and like you said, 2020 mode. He's basically the worst nightmare because he was creep up on your ass, and yeah, I agree. He is going up to S tier because he's the original, and we want him to be in the original spot. So next is one of my and he's one of my favorite character. He's one of my favorite characters. Now here's another one of my favorite characters, Bonnie. Now I'm gonna start off with this, and you could say yours. Bonnie, he does start on night 1, and it's like even though he doesn't really do much in the first couple of nights, he is like has a good pattern when it comes to during his gameplay. He has a good pattern when it comes to how he moves, and it's like he even though he goes into the supply closet, which is not really a useful spot, he is like very determined to get into your room, and he doesn't instantly, and unlike Freddy, he doesn't instantly attack when he gets to you, and that's why I like him because he doesn't instantly attack like when you have like your camera up, and when you have your camera up, he basically just gives you time to put down and know your fate. And with character design, I just like how he looks because when Scott made the character, I just like how he made him a Bonnie and whatnot. So that's my take on him, and I'd give him either S tier or A tier. So what would you say about him, Jackson?
So what I would say about him as a character in terms of gameplay, he's okay in terms of gameplay. I think, as he progresses, he's just kind of the same though. He's kind of samey when it comes to the gameplay because obviously he always comes from the left side, which I understand why that is, but I feel like he just comparatively, especially I think the gameplay mechanics in like FNAF 1 for most of the characters besides Freddy is and Foxy are a bit meh. But I do like how he's always there on every night, and usually he's the first animatronic that people get jump scared by, from what I've heard. In terms of character design, I really like him as a character. Like the character design is really, really nice. Like I really like the way he looks. He's very iconic, obviously. And any character from FNAF 1 is obviously very iconic. I really like his character design. One issue I do have with his character design is the fact that he has no eyebrows, which is very odd. I don't know why he doesn't. But yeah,
And where would you put him on the tier scale here?
I think I'm going to put him in A because he's a good character, but he has a couple things that are holding him back from S, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was like S or A, so I agree with that. So next is Chica. The chicken. People would normally say Chica's a duck, but Chica's like obviously a chicken. So what would you say about Chica here?
Oof, Chica. She's she's an she's an interesting case. I'm gonna personally say this right now. I think she's my least favorite character out of all of them from FNAF 1. She's, the thing about her that I don't really like per se is, well, okay, her gameplay mechanic, I think, is, I don't know. To me, I feel like she's the like worst character when it comes to gameplay, mainly because you can basically take her out of the entire night, especially on like 420. Like as long as and like you could do the same thing with Bonnie technically if you close the left door. But the thing is, on a normal 420 strategy, you're usually closing the right door, right? We've seen it from Markiplier's video. Usually you're closing the right door. So she basically becomes a non-factor on that night. Not to mention the fact that in general, she just doesn't seem besides night 3, she is a non-factor. Like Bonnie's the main threat. Like the three, like what am I trying to say here? She comparatively to like the others, she's not really a threat. Golden Freddy's obviously never really a threat unless you get him randomly. But yeah, so Chica gameplay isn't great. In terms of her character design, it's good, but compared to the other characters, I don't really like it that much. I think just comparatively to the other characters, Chica is probably the weakest when it comes to character design, but I still like how she looks, and her cupcake's nice touch too.
Okay, and and where would you want to put Chica on the list?
Ooh, I'm gonna put her at B tier because Chica, she's good. She's okay. Well, she's okay, but she isn't great.
Yeah, and with me, it's like same with Bonnie. It's like Bonnie in his route. There's the supply closet, and he just randomly goes in there. And then same with Chica. She just randomly goes into the kitchen for no apparent reason. And it's like, yes, I like her character design, but it's just her and Bonnie's route are just random. So it's like that's why I kind of agree. And plus, I could just easily block Chica out. So, and I don't really care about her much. So next is Foxy, and I think Foxy's one of those kinds of special cases, isn't he?
He is. He's definitely. Actually, since I went for the opinion first, you go ahead. We'll do it.
Uh, so with Foxy, it's like if you've watched FNAF before, Foxy he has like he doesn't really do much on night one, but then it's like from like night two onwards, he'll slowly start peeking out, and then I think in like later nights, he'll like run over to your office and uh, and out of everyone in the game, Foxy's the only character that you'll actually see moving down the hallway, while with everyone else, it's like they're in one spot, and then the camera just flickers for a second, and then they're gone. While with Foxy, you can actually see him sprinting. They actually gave Foxy a sprinting animation, which I like. and they gave you and Scott gave you an actual chance to fight him off without having to with like a few seconds to react, because he's actually coming up on you with very little time to stop him. So that's why I want to either put him in. That's why I kind of want to put him in A tier, because he's kind of one of those animatronics. It's like he gives you get a chance with him, but then you at the same time you don't. So that's why I kind of want to put him in A tier. So what about you, Jackson?
Okay, so hearing from what you said, here is my opinion on him. In terms of gameplay, I'm gonna say this right now. I think he has one of the best gameplay mechanics of any character in the FNAF series. Which honestly, I would say he's the second best, probably right behind Springtrap. I really like his gameplay mechanics, but Foxy's got a really cool gameplay mechanic. The thing I like about his is the fact that he is so out of place compared to the other characters, right? Like if you think about it, like what other character, especially throughout like the first like 2 games of the FNAF series, like actually moves inside the cameras. Nobody else but him does it. Not to mention the fact that his sprinting animation can make someone literally shit their pants. Like it is so unexpected the first time it happens to you. It's crazy. And I really like how Scott incorporated him into the game. And I think he's a perfect, and also he's a nuisance on 420 though. That's the thing. He's a nuisance, especially on later nights when you have to constantly watch him. Another thing about okay, and in terms of character design, Foxy's probably one of my favorites of all time as well. I really like his character design, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that one because a lot of people seem to really like Foxy, and I agree with them. Foxy's just cool. Like there's something about his character design. I don't know if it's the fact that he's a pirate. I don't know if it's the fact that he just looks cool in general, but there is something about Foxy that has captivated a lot of people over the years in the FNAF community, and I'm one of them.
And where would you want to put him in the tier list here?
He's going up there with Freddy easily, S tier. He's one of the best in the FNAF
Mm,
series overall.
yeah. Okay. So we got almost all the FNAF 1 characters done. So now we just need to go on with Golden Freddy. So since I went for yeah. So and let me just right before you start, Jackson, I just want to say that me and Jackson are taking turns with this, with like how we uh explain it. So Jackson's going first on this one, and then every two I'm going every two. I'm going so like I'm going next on the phone guy, and he's doing Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and then that. So yeah, but that's how we do it. But anyways, Golden Freddy. What do you guys say about Golden Freddy on how his gameplay mechanics are and how he looks?
Okay, first off, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible here just because, we're already 13 minutes in. But Golden Freddy is in my top 3 favorite characters of all time, and I'm going to explain why right now. Golden Freddy, his mechanic is by far, honestly, his mechanic, not just gameplay mechanic, his mechanic as a whole is top 1 all time. Like the fact of the matter is, imagine you're playing FNAF, right? For the first time, and you pull up the camera in what was it, 2B? I think it's the one. No, it might be 2. No, I think it is 2B where he appears, and you see that, right? It's so unexpected, right? Because there's no warning when it happens. It just does. And then you see him in your room, and then your game crashes. Like there is something inherently terrifying about that. If you're playing FNAF and you have no idea who Golden Freddy is, like you would not know.
And Golden Freddy does appear in camera 2B. So you're right on camera 2B. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, there's something very, very, very cool about that. And I really, really also like the theories about him. He's also a very important character to like the lore. I know we're not talking about lore here, like how important they are to the lore, but he is a super important character to the lore of the games, and in general is just an amazing character as a whole. As for his like character design, one of the best. It's easily one of the best. It's a simple character design, but it looks nice. Even though he is a reskin of Freddy, I think he looks great.
Yeah. And with me, it's like I agree with Jackson. He does have I do like his character design, but it's like but like one of my encounters with Golden Freddy, it was like years ago. I think it was like 2015 or something like that when I was around the time I started playing. And actually, Golden Freddy is one of three characters that will actually crash your game, I believe. And Golden Freddy, apparently he like it was like unexpected when I first played it, and he just randomly shows up, unexpected, not giving you any warning, and he starts out as a poster, and and then he just goes into your room. So that's what I like about Golden Freddy, since he's one of three characters that can crash your game. Uh, and I think he would either go in S tier or A tier. What about you, Jackson?
I'm gonna put him in S. He's great character. He's one of the top tier characters of all time. He's easily top
All
five
right, all
of all
right.
time.
Now we got phone guy. We got phone guy. Uh, now this is for like the for for ultimate custom night, but like from the look, but phone guy, it's like throughout the first three games, it's like phone guy is like not really. I don't know what really to say about Phone Guy because he doesn't really provide anything about the game. He just talks to you about the nights. He lets you know on the nights and whatnot. But judging by his character, he's literally just a phone. So I don't really know what else to say about Phone Guy other than like he's either really useful or really annoying at times. So that's real all I gotta say about him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, as for him as a whole character, we're not talking about him as an Ultimate Custom Night character because he basically does nothing in Ultimate Custom Night. But if you want to know how I feel about him in Ultimate Custom Night, he's annoying. But if we're talking about him throughout the first three FNAF games, he is an interesting insight. I will give him that. Phone Guy is a very interesting insight into everything FNAF related. Like he gives a lot of lore to you. He gives you some of the one of the creepiest moments in FNAF, in my opinion, on night 4 in FNAF 1 when he dies on call when you're playing it for the first time. That's very creepy, and I think he gives a lot of again, as I said, he gives a lot of insight, and he's an iconic voice. Like everyone who has played FNAF will know who Phone Guy is. Like he's an amazing character. I think I would give, even though despite that, I'm gonna give him a B tier because, as Joe said, he can be annoying at times, and also he's not even really a real character per se. Well, he is, but he's he isn't like a real animatronic, so I can't give him over a B tier. But he's a solid character.
Yeah. Okay, now we're all done with FNAF 1. So now we're on to FNAF 2. So uh now okay. So now Jackson, what do you got to say about Toy Freddy here before I give my opinion?
So in my opinion, I do, okay. I don't really like Toy Freddy, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really like the toy animatronics as a whole, besides Mangle and maybe Marionette. I think the toy animatronics look way too cutesy for me. Like I just don't think I just don't see them as that scary, which is the main thing I want in a FNAF animatronic, and they don't give me that, so I don't like them. As for Toy Freddy, though, you know, he doesn't have much lore to the series. Obviously, that's one thing about him that I don't like. Another thing I don't like is he's extremely goofy looking, and his jump scare is extremely goofy as well. Something that also doesn't help as it something that doesn't help him in the gameplay. Well, okay, his gameplay mechanic is fine, but to be honest with you, the thing that I have a problem with is he's basically got the same mechanic as Golden Freddy, as like Withered Golden Freddy and Withered Freddy. He's got the same mechanic as those two pretty much, and it doesn't really have that much variety, and that's obviously the problem with FNAF 2. There's too many characters in my opinion. But as for character like design, as I said, he doesn't look that scary to be honest, and his jump scares goofy. And what I was going to say was that the jump scare sound in FNAF 2 is one of my least favorite things as well. But despite all of that, I'm gonna still give him a D tier because I don't there's definitely characters that are a lot worse than he is, but he's not that great.
Yeah, and plus, and I agree with all that, but one thing that you did forget to mention is that like out of all the FNAF 2 animatronics, it's like you rarely get a jump scare out of Toy Freddy, and you don't ever see Toy Freddy jump scare you ever, unless it's like a rare chance he gets like close to you at some point. So yeah, he doesn't really provide much either. So like with the design and whatnot. So yeah, he's going in D
Oh,
tier.
oh, fun fact about Toy Freddy, you guys. Some Jackson insight here. At Now, most people think you can't see Toy Freddy in any other camera other than the show stage camera, but you can actually see him in camera 10 in the I think it's like the party area. It's like the circus carnival area type of thing in camera 10. You can actually see him there if you look in camera 10. Fun fact.
Yeah, and yeah. So now we're on the Toy Bonnie. Now, Toy Bonnie, honestly, like Toy Freddy, he barely jump scares you as well. I like his design, yet he's not really that scary. Same with all the toy animatronics; they're not really that scary, and he just doesn't have like a good jump scare. And yet, I think, you know, and I just think Toy Bonnie just doesn't really have a good jump scare, and I'll either put him in D tier with Toy Freddy, or I might put him in like E tier. What about you, Jackson?
I honestly, the thing about Toy Bonnie. Okay, first off, I'm gonna actually instead of starting off characters that well, I haven't started off. I'm gonna start off with gameplay mechanic, and I'm gonna say right now, Toy Bonnie's gameplay mechanic might be on par with the marionettes in terms of how absolute stupidity. The thing that makes his honestly no, his gameplay mechanic might be the worst in the entire game series because here's a fact you might not know. So apparently, Toy Bonnie can stay at your vent for the entire night if he wanted to. Apparently. Well, not for the entire night, obviously, but once he gets there, apparently he can stay for the entire night. There's a small chance he can do that. And on top of that, especially in later nights, you will just stay in the vent for 10 seconds, even though you have your mask on. And it is so annoying and culminating with the fact that you have Foxy, who is AI is broken, and the marionette, it turns into one of the most annoying things in the world. Now, in terms of the character design, I don't like his character design, as Joe said. I think he might be he's too cutesy in my opinion. I really don't like it. Like he literally looks like how are you supposed to be scared of this? Honestly, I would like honestly, he looks like a toy. I know they're called the toy animatronics, but out of all the toy animatronics, he literally looks like a toy in this picture. Like you can't tell me that's a real animatronic right there. That is supposed to scare people. That doesn't scare me. And his jump scare is stupid too and goofy. That's all I have to say
Hmm.
about Toy Bonnie.
And where would you want to put him?
Honestly, I would agree with you and put him in E. He's not okay. The thing is, guys, we are reserving really trash characters for these bottom two tiers here, like trashy trash characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we're on the Toy Chica. Now, what do you guys say about her?
Okay. Now, I know people in the FNAF community. Keep it in your pants, please, when I talk about Toy Chica. All right. First off, because I know you pervs like Toy Chica for some reason. But seriously, in all seriousness, though, Toy Chica is actually probably one of the better toy animatronics, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think Toy Chica looks creepier than the other ones. I still think she looks a little too cutesy, but I like the fact that she takes off her beak and that she kind of removes her eyes. It looks like maybe or like her. I don't know. I don't know how they do that. Maybe they like turn off their eyes or something. I don't know if that's a thing, but I like how she does that, and that makes her a little creepier. I also think her jump scare is better than Toy Bonnie's by far. I think hers is better, and her gameplay mechanic is all right. Not as bad as Toy Bonnie. She's not nearly as bad as Toy Bonnie. Like she will actually leave the vent when you have your mask on, and she won't be a nuisance. And usually on later nights, she's not even that involved in the game. As long as you have your mask down and you don't catch her at a bad time, you don't. She's not an event when you're, winding the music box or you're looking at something else. You should be all right. As for a rating, I would give her. I'm probably gonna give her like a C tier. I think she's all right.
Yeah. With me, it's kind of like the same thing. Her character design, I do like that she, kind of turns off her eyes and removes her beak and whatnot. Still cutesy, but definitely a little bit more creepier. And with her mechanics, it's like she I don't even know where she even goes. It's like, but she does go to the left vent, and unlike Toy Bonnie, she does have better mechanics, and she does leave the vent, and she, and unlike Jackson said, unless in later nights, unless you have to max down or catch her at a bad time, she's not really involved. So yeah, I kind of agree. She's better than Toy Bonnie, a little bit better than Toy Freddy, but not as good as the OGs up at the top here. So uh now it's Toy Mango. No, Toy Mango, same thing. But what I have to say about her is that Mango, it's like she is creepy because she like Phone Guy said in FNAF 2 in one of the nights, they tried to remake Foxy, but then they just left Mango as a messed up Foxy. And what's creepy to me is that she has a second head. That's what's creepy to me. That's what makes her character design better. And I like how she just like goes like whenever she like gets into your office, she doesn't attack instantly, but then she like, her radio goes off so that lets you know that she's in there already. And then it's like at some point she'll attack and then just bites your face off. Like if you see her jump scare animation, she's just opening up her mouth like towards your head and whatnot. So, to me, I'd either put her in C tier with Toy Chica or in B tier here, maybe in A tier, depending on how Jackson feels about her. So, what do you guys say about Mango, Jackson?
All right, so I have a lot to say about her. First off, I do want to mention something about her that's very cool. She is one of the two characters. I actually forgot to mention this with Golden Freddy, but I'll mention this with. I guess I'll mention it with the the Nightmare Fredbear later on because why not? But Mangle was one of the two characters that was involved in a bite incident, and she was very. We've basically confirmed at this point that she was the one who did the bite of 87, pretty much, which is an interesting fact about her. She was the cause of that whole thing happening to Fitzgerald there, which was unfortunate for him. But in terms of her gameplay mechanics, she's okay. She's just like a Toy Chica. I do like how she goes through the cameras, though. I really like that, and she can be really creepy on the cameras. But overall, her gameplay mechanic is all right. Again, a lot of the gameplay mechanics in FNAF 2 are just mediocre, so I don't think it's really fair to talk about that much. But in terms of character design, I really like her. She's really good. I really like the way she looks, like how she's disassembled and all. Well, I think they did. I think she's the only toy animatronic that is done right in terms of her character design. Like they still keep the cutesy look, but they also give her this creep factor with how she's just a mess of parts and stuff. It's really cool. I really like it, and obviously her being, and obviously an interesting. Before I get off this topic here about Mango, I just want to say one more thing. The fact that kids were able to rip her apart shows that the company needs to make better animatronics. For real, though. Like, how the hell are
Yeah,
the children being able to rip these things open? Maybe you should blame the
yeah,
parents on that one.
yeah. And where would you want to put Mango in terms of the ranking here? Of course, she's not going to be in like S or A tier, but where would she? Where would you want to put her?
I'm gonna put her in B tier. I'll probably put her
Okay.
above Phone Guy too.
Yeah, I probably would just do that so that way it could be better. So, and we'll move them around if we need the characters around if you need to. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we go into the two bastards. First off, Balloon Boy. What do you guys say about him before I say my opinion about this asshole?
Balloon Boy. Oh my god. Honestly, we should just group in Balloon Boy and JJ together because they're basically the same. Now, I will say
Yeah.
JJ is probably F tier because she doesn't actually affect anything. But Balloon Boy sucks, man. I'm sorry. I can't like this guy. He takes your batteries. He's an asshole. I mean, literally, there's nothing to say about his character like his gameplay mechanic, besides the fact that he literally just takes your batteries. And obviously, his gameplay mechanic is similar to all the other animatronics, you know. besides himself. And then as his character design, it's okay, but man, does is he annoying with that laugh though? It's just so annoying, and he gets the G tier ranking. Honestly, the G
Hmm.
tier fits him perfectly. He sucks.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's like I even with like cheats on, it's like it's hard to keep him away. Even with like cheats on, it's like FNAF came out with like where you can get cheats and whatnot. But even with that, it is hard to keep Balloon Boy out of your office. And that laugh, it just gives me a headache every time I hear that fucking laugh. So yeah, I agree. It's like him and JJ are the F and G tier. Uh, so the puppet or the marionette, as people would call him. I say with him, it's like he has a good mechanic as well because you have to keep up with him every once in a while. Otherwise, he's just gonna come at you. And then with uh with his, you have to keep the music box wound up to keep him there in this one spot, and it's like it's like you could just stay on that one. And it's like if you're going to be playing for FNAF 2, I suggest you stay on the camera the puppet's at, so that way he doesn't do that. But then it's like the puppet has a cool jump scare. It's like, and it's like at least with the puppet, unlike the other animatronics, at least you get a choice to wind up the music box, and at least when the music box almost not being wound up, then the puppet, at least you get a chance to wind up the music box before the puppet jump scares you. And I like his mechanics when he gets there, because when the music box goes off, then you have a limited amount of time to, you can't really do anything before he gets there. And I like how he looks too. Like it's like he looks like the crying child. Even though he's cutesy, he looks like a crying child, and he can be creepy as well. So I would put him uh either I'd probably put him either in B tier and A tier in my opinion. But what would you say, Jackson?
All right, so I'm going to try to organize this a little bit in my conversation here. First off, gameplay mechanic. It's it's annoying. All right, I'm just going to say it right now. I don't like his gameplay. Don't like her gameplay mechanic because the puppet's actually a she, or it's possessed by a she. I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to be a male, like the puppet itself, but that's besides the point. Her gameplay mechanic is so annoying because she will just, you just got to constantly wind her up every single time. And if if some of these other assholes that are coming up on the list occupy you, you're basically screwed, especially on 1020, because you cannot control what they're doing. And honestly, it's just like it's not even that her mechanic is luck based. It's just that everything else is so luck based that her mechanic ends up becoming luck based too. With it, like FNAF 2 in general is just RNG. But in terms of character design with her, I like her character design. It looks really cool. I like how it looks like the crying child, and obviously, it's one of the more iconic characters in the series. So I'm gonna put her in the A tier. I think she deserves an A tier spot.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're onto the withered animatronics, the cooler of the animatronics of the FNAF 2. So
Yeah.
we're starting off with Withered Freddy. What do you guys say about him?
Ooh, Weathered Freddy, with me, I think Weather Freddy's cool. I honestly think he deserves like an A tier ranking because the thing about Weather Freddy is honestly, I think a lot of people seem to remember FNAF for him specifically. And now I did say that about the normal Freddy, but honestly, most people just seem when they see Freddy, they see Wither Freddy. Like, but I could see why. Wither Freddy's pretty cool. I like him. I like how big he is. Like he's scary, man. He's huge. Like if I'm a security guard, honestly, even on the day, even if it's like the day shift or something, I would be scared of this dude. He's like 7, 8 feet tall or something crazy like that. Like he's really, really, really cool, and I really like his character design. Now, as for his gameplay mechanic, it's okay. It's fine. It's not that great. I think like his gameplay mechanic is the same as Toy Freddy's and Golden Freddy's a little bit, and it doesn't really give him any, originality points, but his gameplay mechanic is fine, and most of the time you're not going to be dying to him, so it's not a big deal. But I would put him in the I'll probably put him in like the A tier. I think he's very iconic and very cool.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that like with me, it's like with it Freddy, it's like he starts out in the parts and services room, and it's like he only has like a few steps to get to you, and with him along with the other withered animatronics, he can easily be stopped either by the flashlight or the Freddy mask, and I like his design. I like his design, but if it'd be better, but in my opinion, I think it'd be better if they added a little bit more to his design. But other than that, yeah, I kind of put him in uh, A tier a little bit just to give him some respect. Not in front of the puppet or Bonnie per se, but I say he's good where he's at.
That's
So
fair.
now with Withered Bonnie, with his character design, I love how they just completely removed like the front of his face and how he like has no arm and like and how he just looks really creepy. Like how disassembled animatronics, one of the disassembled animatronics should be like, and I like how like his whole character design and whatnot. Character mechanics, I don't. It's kind of similar to Weighted Freddy's in some way, but
Except the vent.
yeah, it makes it a little bit somewhat different from. It's like kind of like Weighted Freddy's but different. But I like his thing, so I think he should either be an S tier or A tier, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. As for me, I really like what, as you said, I really like Weather Bonnie's design as a whole. Like I like how his face is completely just torn off, and that makes him look super creepy. And those red eyes, man, ooh, those red eyes. I think of any of the animatronics in FNAF 2, I would not want to be with that guy. That guy looks super creepy, and he literally looks like he can just rip you apart with one swing at you. It's unbelievable. And like his character design is so creepy, and I really like it. As for his gameplay mechanic, as you said, it's kind of similar to Wither Freddy, except he does go through the vent. So he's kind of combination of the two, kind of like Wither Chica. They're both a combination of both characters. They're both hallway. They're both like, and they're like a combination of like the hallway animatronics and the vent animatronics, like how they go through the vents and get into your room. As for just like if you're going through the hallway and going into the room, or if you're in the vents and you're just you're just trying to get to the room. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that like they're a combination of both. I think you guys
Hmm.
get what I mean.
Yeah, so I definitely think I'm gonna put him in an S tier along with these guys because he's one of those cool types of animatronics. So now we're on to Withered Chica. What do you guys say about her?
Withered Chica. Ooh, that's a good question. Um, as for Wither Chica, I don't like her as much as Wither Bonnie, but I do. No. Actually, scratch that. I really like her. Like, I think she might be borderline S tier. To start off with her character design, I really like the way she looks. I like how her mouth is just completely like stuck, and she's really creepy. Like, out of all the FNAF characters, she's probably top three scariest. I would not want to be seen with this thing because this thing is not only huge, but it's terrifying, and she just like it's crazy how broken she looks. And those extra set of teeth, man, that gives me chills just looking at it.
Hmm.
One thing now, as for a gameplay mechanic, she's just like Wither Bonnie. It's like again, as I said, these FNAF 2 gameplay mechanics are so repetitive. It's not even really worth talking about most of the time. So I would give her an A tier spot. She's not S tier, but she's borderline S tier. She's definitely
Yeah,
top of A.
yeah, and you know what, and I think we should just end after the I think we should like end at after night. I think we should end after like the after these guys, like
Yeah.
because we don't really know much after everyone else. So
Yeah, that's true. So
yeah,
I agree with that. But what's
yeah.
your thoughts
So
on Wither Chica?
with her Chica, it's like I like her design, like you said, creepy, huge, and whatnot, and the extra set of teeth. But what I, what would make her more, and I like how she doesn't have her hands either on both of her hands. She doesn't have both of her hands, uh, and it's like that's what makes her creepy. And then with uh, with her gameplay mechanics, it's kind of the same as Whether Bonnie in some way. So I kind of would want to I do want to put her in A tier. So now with it, Foxy, he is, in my opinion, one of besides Withered Bonnie, uh, he is one of the coolest animatronics there are because because to me, Withered Foxy's animation is just mechanics is actually simple because all he does is go from the parts and services room to the office, and it's like I like that, but then it's like at the same time, if you're too distracted by every other animatronic in that in FNAF 2, then you can't really get to him. And I like how him and the puppet are the only two animatronics that can actually see through your mask, so you can't just hide from them. So
Yeah.
I say he probably going uh like that, like borderline S tier or A tier. So, what would you say, Jackson?
Well, I agree with your point on him being a cool looking character and about his gameplay mechanics. Something I will say about Wither Foxy is on later nights he can get really annoying, especially because a fun fact, his AI is bugged because even on zero he can actually kill you. I've tested this out myself and it's true. He can kill you even if you put him on zero and on the custom night. He can still appear and he will still appear. Like it's weird. Now, besides that little bug in his AI, which is really weird, I don't know how Scott got that messed up, but he's a really cool character. First off, we got to talk about his character design. He's awesome. Look at him. I mean, just look at him. He's a cool looking character. And honestly, I like him more than the other Foxy. He looks creepier. He looks better. I just really like the way he looks. I don't know how to describe it. He just looks really, really good. Um, as for his gameplay mechanics, as I said, he can be really annoying as a whole. Like his gameplay mechanic can be really annoying, but I think without I think if you change up the mechanics a little bit more, it could work, especially because the other characters kind of cause that problem. Like if you changed up some of the mechanics of the other characters, I think it could have worked. It's just the problem that most unfortunately most of the gameplay, like some of the gameplay mechanics in the game are really good. Just a lot of the gameplay mechanics make the other gameplay mechanics bad and basically drag them down. But overall, Withered Foxy, he is an S tier character. I think he is an S tier character, easy.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Anyways, okay, now we got Withered Golden Freddy. Now, what do you guys say about him?
He is awesome. I don't think he's as good. He's good. Okay, he's awesome, but he is not nearly as good as the original Golden Freddy. First off, I just gotta say, I know we're not talking about jump scares here, but his jump scare is no, it's goofy. I mean, it's just a floating head. Like, like it's just crazy. I don't know. It's just not a good jump scare, but everything else about him's pretty good. His lore is pretty good. Uh, his gameplay mechanic though is not very good. To be honest with you, it's iffy. There's two different ways he can kill you and whatever. It is unique though, to be fair. So that's at least give it me some brownie points considering how the other characters are. Now, as for his character design, oh, I really like the way he looks. I really like the way he looks. Like with his body and all, I really like it. And I also like how he's kind of like a precursor. He's almost like I don't know how to describe him. Not like a teaser, but he's almost like foreshadowing to FNAF 3 because he's a hallucination, right? And I like how he kind
Mm-hmm.
of foreshadows, the hallucinations that would eventually happen in FNAF 3. And I kind of like that. And I kind of feel like that's maybe what Scott was trying to do there because I believe Scott had this all planned way before. Like he did not come up with all this on the fly, So that's what I really
Mm-hmm.
like about him. And as for my opinion, I would give him an A tier. but he's a borderline S tier character.
Yeah, I agree with all those points, but it's like, and besides that, Golden Freddy, it's like the weather Golden Freddy. It's like I like how he's like a hallucination as well, but it's like what I think they should have done is just like at least like it's like they basically like did the same thing like with Golden Freddy on from FNAF 1 onto this. It's like he just randomly pops up, but what I think Golden Freddy they should change about this Golden Freddy here is that they should make him at least a little bit more. I like his design and his mechanics, but they should at least change both of those up a little bit. But I don't have nothing else to say about him, so I guess he's going in A tier and whatnot. So, and then we got Shadow Freddy. Now
And
him,
Shadow Bonnie too.
yeah, we're gonna do both of them at the same time because they're both shadows. But for both the shadow animatronics, those two animatronics plus the Golden Freddy from FNAF 1.
Oh, Exo.
Those three animatronics are the only animatronics ever in the FNAF history to make your game crash. Like they cannot do anything like those are the only three characters of the whole FNAF series that can make your game crash. And I like both of their designs. Like uh Shadow Freddy's all purple and whatnot, and I like how um and I like both their designs, even though they're just reskins of Withered Freddy and Twin Bonnie. But I do like how they both are just really creepy, and they both have the white eyes and whatnot. So for me, if I had to choose, I put Shadow Freddy in uh, S or A tier, and then Shadow Bonnie in either an A or B tier. What would you say, Jackson?
Okay, so I agree with your points on both the characters looking really cool and their history. Um, Something I will say about these two is they are by far the creepiest characters along with Golden Freddy because it's the same reasons I stated. You know, they're unexpected. You don't know they're coming. Um, Something about them that I really like, though, specifically, besides all that, is just their incorporation in the game and all. I think is great. Like FNAF is a cursed game; it's supposed to be cursed, and I really like that they included these two, including the endoskeleton over there, which we'll talk about after these two. But these two are really good characters. I will say though, I like Shadow Bonnie better mainly because not only is he rarer, I think he's creepier because a random black Bonnie just showing up in your um showing up in your office and then fading out and then your game crashing like 2 seconds after is really, really interesting. Meanwhile, you can kind of miss Shadow Freddy if you're going quick and all, but you cannot miss Shadow Bonnie. Like that's the main thing I like about it.
Okay, and where would you want to put both of them?
I'm putting them both in probably a B tier. I'm going to put them both in B tier because they're both very good characters, but I don't think they exceed the level of anything above that.
All right. Now the endoskeleton. What do you guys say about endoskeleton over here?
Okay, so here's my opinion on the endoskeleton. He is, in my opinion, one of the most mysterious characters in FNAF because he's a very rare. There's a very rare. So here's how endo happens. There's actually okay. So when the music box goes out, right? When you don't line the music box enough, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
that. Basically, there's a small chance that an endoskeleton can crawl out of the music box. All right, and he'll slowly crawl out, and
Mm-hmm.
he will stand there until the marionette jump scares you. But there's an even smaller, and I mean an even smaller chance okay, there's an even smaller chance that Endo can appear in your vent if the marionette takes long enough, or if you look at the vent camera, there's a small chance he can appear in your vent as well, which is very interesting. As for him as a character, he goes in. It's so hard for me to say. I'm gonna put him in D, not because he's bad, just because he's kind of plain, and obviously he's just an endoskeleton, so he's not that good. But I do like his incorporation into
Mm-hmm.
the game.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, and I do agree with all that too. He's just plain, and I like how he's just a rare chance, along with like these two and whatnot, and going Freddy and whatnot. But now we're on to FNAF 3. We're on to FNAF 3 now. Like then there's only and out of FNAF 3, there's only one real animatronic, and then there's six. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh,
There's only one animatronic.
Yeah, there's only one animatronic, but then all the right, there's six hallucinations. So Springtrap, I like how he looks because it's literally just a Springlock suit, and you could tell that there's a person inside there because of all the animatronics that we've seen before. There's no person in there, and I like how like in FNAF 3 we get to see the origin of Springtrap and how he gets like how William Afton or Purple Guy gets spring locked in there and he gets trapped behind there for years, for like 30 years. And I like his mechanics as well because, and even though he doesn't show up till night two, I like his mechanics and like I like his character design. So I say he gets put into A tier, nothing else. What would you say, Jackson?
My opinion on Springtrap is I agree he looks really cool, but something that you didn't specify on it that much was his and how his mechanics are in general. You said his mechanics were good. There's something about his mechanics though that are very special compared to any other character. He has multiple ways of like almost I think he has like well there are characters that have multiple ways, but he is a particularly special character because he can attack you in like there's three different ways he can kill you. So number one, he can just run past your window, right? Which and
Mm-hmm.
kill you that way, which is the most obvious way. You'll know. The second way he can do that is go through the vent and show up at your door, which is the creepiest one in my opinion, because you know that you're dead after that. Like there's no way you can survive after that. You're done. And that's creepy to me. And then the third way he can kill you, and the least creepiest way because it's very quick, is he can literally just go right through the vent and kill you immediately. He can do that as well, and I really like that about him. Like, there's multiple ways he can kill you, three different ways he can kill you, and not to mention the fact that he just looks really cool. And he is obviously without him, FNAF 3 would not be, and we wouldn't be nothing without him. FNAF 3 would not be anything. And I really like how Scott Cawthon also made it so that you had to look through the cameras at him. Like they utilized the cameras in that game a lot more, which is very cool of them to do, and I think I really like it. Um, One more, and as for his character design, as I've said, he looks really cool. I like all the peeking out organs and stuff and gross stuff. It looks really cool, and he's gnarly, and he easily deserves an S tier ranking.
Yeah, I agree. And do you think we should just stop at like Nightmare BB because we don't really know what to say about these other characters?
Yeah, I haven't really played Sister Location.
Yeah. So let's just stop at Nightmare BB and then we can just end the video there and whatnot. So, Nightmare, not Nightmare, Freddy, Phantom Freddy. What do you guys, since you ended off last time, what do you guys say about what do you guys say about Phantom Freddy?
Phantom Freddy. So I'm gonna make this one quick for all the Phantoms since there's not much to say about them. But Phantom Freddy, he's all right. You know, his mechanic is all right. I kind of find it's like a bit creepy the first time, I guess. You know, when he peers below your window and then he jump scares you and all of a sudden. But it's after the first time you get used to it. His character design is all right. Honestly, all the characters kind of look like I don't know how to describe it. They look like mossy. You know what I mean? Like green moss.
Mm-hmm.
They almost
Mm-hmm.
look like that.
Yeah, and basically they're just redesigns of like everyone else besides Phantom Chica are just redesigns of FNAF 2 characters, and then Phantom Chica is just a redesign of the FNAF 1 Chica.
Yeah, and then everyone else is ray color. But as for Phantom Freddy, for all the reasons I cited, I'm gonna probably give him a C tier. he's all right, but he's not as great as some of the others.
Yeah, I agree. C tier, like his design, but and his character mechanics, he's just not. It's just not. No, I don't really like his character mechanics that much because he doesn't really show up either. But now Phantom Chica, it's kind of the same as Phantom Freddy. Kind of doesn't show up. I like her design with her white eyes and whatnot, but I don't really like how she doesn't just show up often or whatnot. So I'm gonna probably either give her either a C tier or a D tier.
I agree with everything you said there. The thing about Phantom Chica that I find like one thing about her that I like is the image that shows up on camera 7 on the arcade screen. I think that's kind of creepy a little bit, like especially if it's the first time playing. But after the jump scare, all fear is lost because her jump scare is so weird. It's just like your head tilting towards you. Like that's not really that scary. It's just like Springtrap. Like that's not scary at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just really I don't know. FNAF 3 in general kind of has weak jump scares as a whole. Uh, for Phantom Chica though, her character design doesn't look that good. You know, all the Phantoms don't really look that good. I'll probably give her a D tier.
All right. Now, Phantom Foxy. What do you guys say about him?
Phantom Foxy is probably the coolest Phantom. I actually do like his character mechanic. Compared to the other ones, I think it's really good. I like how he jump scares you, and even if even after a couple times, it still gets even after playing the game as much as I have, it still gets me sometimes. I really like his jump scare. A thing I also like about him is his character mechanic. I like how the way he jump scares you is really nice. Just by you go across the room and then he jump scares you and then he's gone. And yeah, he's got a you know, simple but decent character mechanic, and his character design is really cool. I like it. Obviously, any Foxy's gonna look good, but it looks good. I like how they incorporated the Phantom like qualities into him.
Mm-hmm. And where would you want to put him?
Where do I want to put him? Ooh, probably gonna rank him the highest out of any Phantom and give him a B tier.
All right. Yeah, and I like it. I like all of his stuff. And I agree with you, Jackson. I like all of his stuff too. But one thing that I like about him in particular that he doesn't have any of the he does look mossy, but he doesn't look as mossy as all of the other phantoms, and
That's true.
he just looks better in general other than those. So that's why I agree when I give him a B tier.
Yeah, that's very very true. Like I agree with you. Like I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you in that one. So
Yeah, yeah. And okay, so Phantom Mangle. Honestly, if Phantom Balloon Boy and Phantom Puppet weren't there, then she'd probably be the most mossiest out of everyone there. Uh, and really, I like her design, but her mechanics, I don't like her mechanics at all. It's
I
like
agree.
all she does is just poke her head up and just make a random noise, and then just pops back down. No jump. I don't think that she has a jump scare,
No, she
but other
doesn't.
and it's like it's just give her a jump scare. Then maybe I should be better. So maybe. So I think I'd rather give her an E tier, like the lowest. One of the lowest out of the Phantoms.
Okay, here's my opinion on her. I'm gonna say it right now. I agree with a lot of the things you said because, as you said, she just kind of the one thing that you mentioned the sound that she makes. That tornado siren sound that she makes has got to be one of the most. Just it's not even scary. It's just breaks my ears every time I hear it. Like it literally makes me want to go deaf. That's how bad it sounds. Like I don't want to listen to that, bro. And plus, I honestly don't like her character mechanic, even outside of the quote unquote jump scare. Like the way she just kind of appears on the camera, she's just a recopy of like Toy Chica, not Toy Chica, Phantom Chica. God, I've been getting things wrong lately, but yeah, she's just the same as Phantom Chica. Like it's just the same, she appears on a camera, you see her, and then you get jump scared or quote unquote jump scared. As for her character design, it's all right. She does look very mossy though. for no reason. I think she would have worked better if she was a little less mossy and had a little bit more of her normal color on her. But yeah, I'll give her probably like a. I agree. Honestly, Joe, I would honestly put her in F tier. I think she's worse than some of
Yeah.
the other, a lot worse than
Yeah.
some of the others.
Now, now Phantom. I almost said Nightmare Balloon Boy. God damn it. Phantom Balloon Boy. I like how mossy he is because you can barely see his mouth, and you can see his, and you can barely see, and you can see his white eyes. Same with the marionette here, but one thing I do like is that like he just like when you open up the camera, he shows up and then you once you pull up the you can it's like you pull out the camera and he just attacks you. It's like without even hesitation, he just goes at you. I like that mechanic that Scott added to that one. That he can just show up on the camera at random without even hesitation, like at random, so you won't even know when he's gonna pop up, and then he just jump scares you, and that's kind of unexpected as well. And then and I like his mechanic, I like his design, so I think he's gonna be. But there's not really much to him though, so I think I might want to put him with Phantom Freddy or Phantom Chica in the C or D tier.
Yeah.
What would you say?
So I agree with some of the things you said about him as a whole. Something though that you didn't mention that I really like they did about Balloon Boy's character here is finally give him an actual jump scare, which was nice to see. I really like that they finally gave him an actual jump scare. And overall, he's not as annoying as the regular Balloon Boy. I would say he's way better. Now that doesn't mean I'm not saying he's good, but he is way better than the usual Balloon Boy, and his character design is okay. It's fine. It's just like the regular Balloon Boy. It's fine. I do like it better. Um, Something I will say about him that can be annoying sometimes is he can be the most inconvenient Phantom of them all because besides the marionette, because he appears in every camera from camera six. No, he appears in camera one, six, seven, eight. No, not eight. He appears cameras one, six, seven, nine, and 10. I think those are all the cameras he appears in.
Hold on, let me look it up. When what? Okay, okay. What cameras does Phantom BB use? Okay, so the most frequent cameras that Phantom BB will use or appear at are at camera 7, camera 9, and camera 10. That the player just doesn't switch cameras or lower the monitor, he will appear in the office. So that's what I like. And then I'm sure he appears in the other cameras as well. So yeah. So, but where would you want to put him in ranking wise?
I'm gonna put him in D tier.
Okay. Now, what about the Phantom Puppet here?
Next is the marionette. All right, I'm gonna give my
Yeah,
opinion
the
on the
marionette.
marionette.
Yeah. Then I'll give my opinion.
Okay, well, the marionette. I gotta say, she just like just like in the second game, she has an extremely, and I mean extremely annoying mechanic that just is super duper annoying. Like literally, just like Mangle, she just makes this, you know, annoying ringing sound for no reason. And not to mention, she will jump scare you for 17 seconds. For 17 seconds, which means Springtrap will be able you literally have to spend like 20 seconds before you can get out of her jump scare. And then you have to deal with a ventilation error. Like she is literally the most annoying. If you get jump scared by the area net, it's almost wraps for you. Like it's literally almost wraps. Like 20 seconds. Like it's insane. As for her character design, it's okay. It looks okay. I think it looks good. Actually, I would say it looks good compared to most of the Phantoms. It actually looks pretty good, but I'm gonna honestly put her in an E tier because her character mechanic has to be the worst in FNAF 3 by far.
Yeah, I like her, but in my opinion, I like her. I like the puppet's not the mechanic, but the design of the puppet or the marionette. And I like the design, and I like how the how she looks. But I agree with the mechanics. It's like she just spends like 20 fucking seconds just on your face with the jump scare, and then you're just cooked then. So, yeah, I'm going to put her with Toy Bonnie. So, now we're on to the FNAF. We're on to FNAF 4, which will be the last one we're doing for this video because we're already in an hour. But we're getting some good content either way because we're giving our own opinions about it and whatnot. People might not agree, but whatever. So, uh, Nightmare Freddy. Uh, I like his character as a whole, and I like how his mechanic because just think, if you don't get to the Freddles in time, he has three little Freddles. If you don't get to them in time, you're pretty much done for because like because honestly, the Freddles are like a warning to the player, basically like, hey. There's like three Freddles, and if you don't get rid of all three, if you let all three of them show up, then you're pretty much just done for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think uh I either put it anywhere from between A tier to C tier, anywhere in those tiers, because of the design and mechanics. So, what about you, Jackson? What do you guys say about Nightmare Freddy there?
Um, to be honest with you, he's a good character. I like him. I like his mechanic. It's pretty unique, and I like him as a whole. In also, not to mention, he actually has two different jump scares. Believe it or not, which a lot of characters in the FNAF series do not have. So that's pretty cool thing to see. He has two different jump scares. Um, as okay, but okay, as a gameplay mechanic, as I said, I really like his gameplay mechanic. Like, I really like it's very unique. As for his character design, I really like it. I like how the three Freddles are like actually kind of attached to him, I think, and he uses them as like tools. It's really really cool. I really really like it. But basically, um, how am I trying to say this? But basically, I think he's probably like an A tier character. He's really good. He's one of the better ones in FNAF 4. He's not the best though, because there's one other character that's better than him, or two others.
Hmm.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah, yeah, and just look. There's okay. Out of S through B tier, there's six characters in each in the top three tiers, and and then it's just the rest of these guys are just like bottom tiers. So it's like from S tier to B tier are the good characters, and then it's like from C tier down it gets way worse. Um, Now Nightmare Bonnie, what do you guys say about him?
He's good. He's actually pretty good. I like him as well. Something I will say is he can be a bit annoying sometimes because he will show up constantly at your door, like constantly, especially on later nights. He's just a huge constant, and that can get really annoying. But as a gameplay mechanic, he's pretty good. I like his gameplay mechanic. The gameplay mechanics are pretty much the same as in every character in FNAF 4 besides Freddy and Foxy. He comes from the left door and she comes from the right door. So I like that little detail, by the way, an homage to FNAF 1. But for his character design, I like it. I wish the whiskers weren't there though, because that makes him look a little goofy. But I still think he looks pretty gnarly and cool. So I'll probably give him like an A tier.
Okay, yeah, and I like that too, but I think besides Freddy, I think Bonnie also has two jump scares.
Oh yeah, he
Uh,
does.
yeah, Nightmare Bonnie also has two jump scares. It's like if like you're at the door, then that's a jump scare, and then the second jump scare is if you're not at the door, and then he just can jump scare you through there. So that's why I like that he has more than one jump scare. I like that, but he can be annoying. But yeah, I like everything there. So I think I agree. There's A tier because the way he looks. Now, Phantom Chica, she has like three sets of teeth. Like, just if you just look at her character design, she has three sets of teeth, and honestly,
Yeah.
it's like she just looks creepier. One of the creepy ones out of the Phantom, not the Phantoms, Nightmares. Oh my god, I'm losing it too. But unlike, and it's kind of similar to Bonnie's Nightmare Bonnie's one, but I do like hers because of her red eye and whatnot, and also her cupcakes looks messed up too and whatnot. So I'd rather give her a B tier because of her mechanic, not because of her mechanics, and being similar to Nightmare Bonnie's and her design as well.
Um. So, in my opinion, I agree with most of the things you said about her, like her character, the gnarly character design, and the gameplay stance. Her gameplay mechanic, just like Toy Bonnie, right? It's fine. It's all right. It's not the greatest, not the worst thing. She's not as bad as uh, uh, Nightmare Bonnie. I think I said Toy Bonnie. God damn it, I'm losing it too. Nightmare Bonnie. I'll just say Bonnie because I'm gonna keep getting it wrong. But yeah, Bonnie. I like her mechanic compared to Bonnie. I also like how she uses her cupcake to jump scare you in the office, which, by the way, is a very goofy jump scare. I think we're gonna be. I think I'm not the only one to think that. I don't know why she isn't on this list, to be honest, but that's besides the point. Um, as for where I would rank her as a whole, um, I'm gonna rank her probably an A tier, along along with some of the other nightmares. I think the nightmares are just amazing.
Yeah. Now Nightmare Foxy. Now, what do you guys say about him?
He is gnarly and awesome. I love this. He might be legit. He's probably like a top four animatronic in my opinion. I really, really like Nightmare Foxy. I like how gnarly he is. I like his character design. I just like the way he looks, and I love his character mechanic. He. I like his character mechanic because again, it's an homage to FNAF One. He just he basically stays. I like his mechanic. He goes into the closet and he has four different phases: his plushie phase, his hook phase, his wait, his hook phase, his
Waist phase and then his face phase.
oh yeah, that's right, because he always phase, and then the fifth phase. If you want to count his hallway phase as a phase, then you could say there's five technically, because he does come from the hallway. Fun fact: he actually does come from the hallway, and he sneaks into your closet, which is very interesting if you're not looking at him, and you can actually hear Foxy moving around.
Mm-hmm.
But
So where would you want to rank Foxy at?
I would probably want to rank him at like S tier. He's honestly S tier, legit.
Yeah, and to me, I like his design as well with the yellow eyes and the teeth. But and also, and what you didn't mention in that is that his in the in the teaser picture with Foxy, he has like a long tongue too. Like
Oh yeah,
he has a really long tongue, and like he is like it just looks creepy just by the way he looks.
I wish
And
that was
then
incorporated into the game, to be honest, because that would have been super cool if that was somehow incorporated, like into his jump scare, where maybe he like strangles you and then the blood screen comes out. That would have been so sick. Scott Cawthon could have done something really cool with that.
yeah.
Also, I was thinking about that when I was saying it. I didn't bring it up though for some odd reason, but keep going.
Yeah, but other than that and his mechanics, I'm putting him in S tier because of the he's different from all the other nightmares. So now we're on to Nightmare Fredbear, and uh now what I like about Nightmare Fredbear is that not only he doesn't only have one, but he has two mouths. One normal mouth on his head and one on his chest too. And it's like he I like his mechanics too. Like he can when it comes to like night five, I think night 4 or 5 or something like that. It's like he's the only animatronic, and he's like move. I like how he just moves around the house, like going from like the right side to the left side, and then I like how he just goes into the closet, and then I like how he goes into the bed as well. I like that. that when he's the only animatronic, he goes everywhere instead of just sticking to like the hallways. He could just get into your room, and I like his jump scare too, and I like his design as well with the mouths and whatnot. But I would put him if A tier or possibly S tier, maybe. What do you guys say about that, Jackson?
I agree with you. I also gotta say he's very important to the lore, which you didn't mention. Like he is no, he basically is. He's practically the animatronic that caused the bite of '83 and started William Afton's downfall, which is very important to the entire story of FNAF. So he's very important to everything in integral in the FNAF story. Like he started everything. No, he didn't start everything. It was obviously Michael, but he was an integral part of that as he was part of the bite of '83, and he was the one who bit the crying child. But as for his gameplay and character, first off, gameplay really cool. I like his mechanic, like how he just goes from hallway to hallway, and his laughing mechanic too is really his laugh is super creepy. It like peers into your soul when you're playing the game. He's really cool, and along with Nightmare, I would give them both S tiers. They're great characters.
Yeah. Basically, both Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear are basically S tiers because they're basically the same thing. So
Yeah, and they're gnarly. But I
yeah,
will say,
and I like how Nightmare has both Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare have like blood on their teeth too. If you notice that.
yeah, but dude, I gotta say one thing about Nightmare though. Nightmare is one of the most mysterious characters in the entire like um FNAF series. Like he's super mysterious. Nobody really knows anything about Nightmare. Like there's almost nothing is known about this guy. Like it's crazy, but I really like Nightmare. Like honestly, he might be even better than Fredbear because just of his cool like character design, like the black look to him. I think gives him such a unique like it gives him such because you usually don't see a black Freddy, right? Especially
Yeah,
in
yeah,
17. Like it's super cool to see, and I would
yeah,
definitely like him.
yeah. Now Plush Trap. What do you guys say about Plush Trap here?
Plus trap, blah. He's like an E tier. His gameplay mechanic is while useful if you win, annoying as well. It's just really stupid and unnecessary. And honestly, the fact that you could skip 2 hours is kind of gimmicky in my opinion. It shouldn't even be a thing. To be honest with you, like that's just my opinion. I don't think that should be a thing where you can skip 2 hours. It's just you know, it's too much of an advantage, and it kind of takes away the point of there being 6 hours in a night. If you could just take 2 hours out of the night, like now you're just playing 4 hour nights. Just it's a gimmicky thing that is related to him that I don't like. But I also just don't like his character. He's not scary. And as a character, he's not important to the lore at all. And
Yeah, yeah. And I kind of agree putting him in E tier because he's not important to the lore. It's not really important. I like his character design, but like with what he looks like. But other than that, yeah, he's just not really important to the lore at all. It's like I don't see anything like important to him. So now we got the Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Chica. Which would you count both of them as like the same, or would you want to count them both separate?
I think I'm going to count them as the same since they have the same mechanics and all.
Yeah.
Honestly, these two are probably down there in terms of characters. I'm going to put them honestly in F tier because they're not only reskins, but they are they're that's honestly just the problem. They're reskins. They're the same thing. They're not that unique, and I don't like their character designs that much. I don't really like the jack o' lantern look to them, which doesn't work, and it's not really that scary.
Yeah, yeah, F tier. Yeah, there were just reskins. Nothing changed to them. So, yeah. Uh,
Oh
now
my god!
what?
Wait, wait. Hold on. You go first. Actually,
Okay, so with Nightmare Mangle, it's like, like I just like her design just by that, and it's basically just kind of like Nightmare Foxy, but it's just like with the same mechanics and whatnot. But what I like is that she is just has the radio, but from FNAF 2. But I also like how she's just like a creepier version. I think she also has like a second head as well, like in FNAF 2. So I think I want to put her probably in like B tier, and probably. But what do you guys what do you want to say, Jackson? Since you what was like, oh my god.
This character. So I agree with some of the points you made, but you forgot to mention one thing that I think alone makes her a G tier character, in my opinion.
A G. Wow, that low. Wow, what makes her a G tier character?
I'm gonna tell you what. So you know how Mangle always makes some noise, right? When she's near the office in FNAF 2, or just makes noise in general when she's near the office in the vent and stuff?
Yeah.
She does the same thing in FNAF 4 Halloween edition. Now, it might not seem like a big deal, but keep in mind, the game's mechanic is literally that you have to listen for these quiet sounds, and when she's doing that, playing that radio sound in the closet, you literally have to hear. It's literally impossible to win because you can't hear the breathing, you can't hear your footsteps, you can't hear anything because she's just screaming at that radio sound, and it makes the game so unplayable when she's there. It's stupid, and I think that alone makes her a G tier character. You know what? I don't know. Maybe okay. I won't put her on the level of Bloom Boy. Actually, maybe I was being a little dramatic, but I'll honestly put her in F tier for that.
Okay. Well, it's like I okay. Well, now we got Nightmarian, the Nightmare Puppet, or Nightmarian is how people would pronounce him. So, uh, what would you want to say about Nightmarian or the Nightmare Puppet or whatever?
Okay, so after that long rant about Nightmare Mangle and how much I hate her with all my heart, um, this character is pretty decent. It's just like Nightmare, he's or she's not that great, but she's not that terrible either. Like she's got her good qualities. Her gameplay is pretty, it's just like Nightmare, so you can't really say anything about it being that bad. Now, what I like about her is she's not a reskin. She's not a reskin like some of the others. She's actually like a new full character that they created, which I'll give them brownie points for that. But I would only put her in C tier because she's just the same as Nightmare in terms of gameplay, and that doesn't really. There's no creativity when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I like her design as well. And it's like when it comes to that, but then it's like again not reskin whatnot, and that's why I kind of agree when it comes to C. Not it's like not bad, but not good either. So but now the last one we're gonna do for this video is Nightmare Balloon Boy because we do not have because it is 11. It's 11:32 for me, and it's 12 o'clock for Jackson. So we do not have enough time to even do all these animatronics. And if we did, we do not know any of these. Most of these are just like from Scott Cawthon. It's like from Scott Cawthon afterwards. It's just the same, pretty much the same animatronics. Like we're just gonna keep on putting them in the same place as like the other ones. So that's why we're not doing any like all of the rest of them. So uh, now Nightmare Balloon Boy. What would you want to say about him?
He's honestly, he's he's just the same as Plus Trap, but honestly, he's even worse because he likes to do that. He likes to do a dumb laugh that I hate. And plus, again, as I said, I think the FNAF 4 Plus Track game is a stupid gimmick that shouldn't exist. It's taking what you're trimming 2 hours off the night. I know you have to do something to do it, but still, playing a 4 hour night defeats the purpose of playing FNAF because FNAF has 6 hour nights, not 4 hour nights. All right, that completely it just completely defeats the purpose of having 6 hours if you can just remove 2 hours by playing some small
Mhm.
mini game. But
Yeah.
as for Nightmare Balloon Boy himself, I honestly give him a G tier along with Balloon Boy because not only is his mechanic awful, just like Plus Traps, but his laugh is so annoying and his jump scare is even worse, to be honest, than Plus Traps, in my opinion. I think it's even worse. So he goes in G tier easily.
Yeah, and I've never really experienced Nightmare Balloon Boy, but I like his character design though. But judging by how Jackson dislikes him, yeah, I put him in there. So Yeah, so we did all the animatronics from 1 through 4 from how we ranked them, and surprisingly, we got the most animatronics in S tier, but then we got the least animatronics in G tier because both me and Jackson didn't really dislike that many characters that much to put in G tier.
Yeah,
But
and most of them were
there's more.
reskins.
Yeah, most of these were reskins too. But honestly, this was a good video idea for me to do because in case I don't have any video ideas, I could just either do a tier list on my own or have one of my friends come in. So honestly, that was a good video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a fun video. I'm glad I got to do this and glad it's something different for my channel. Jackson, you got anything you want to say before we end the video here?
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, obviously, and if you enjoyed, subscribe and like, hit the notification bell, and just remember, Godspeed to you all, and Godspeed to America. Stay safe out there. It's a dangerous world, and I'll see you guys next time. And subscribe to
Uh,
Joe
all
and
right.
me too.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.